Alright, yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the solar system series known as Cancer in the Closet. We talk about all the Cancer signs in the closet. And today I got a good one for y'all, man. We're talking about a freaking sign and an exaltation right here, man. Planet's gonna be exalted, man. So let's get to it. So now, if you do know a little bit about astrology, we're talking about Jupiter, man. Jupiter and Cancer. And for all of you guys out there, Cancer is the highest possible place for Jupiter to be. And I'm about to tell you why, okay? So, Jupiter and Cancer, Jupiter and Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer. All right, so let's get to it. So, Jupiter is the planet of expansion through experience, right? And now, expansion is normally tied to an extreme, ecstasy, any like high, crazy word that really gets your heart pumping with a word with an E. You know what I'm saying? Extreme, expansion, ecstasy, you know? And like this, like extremity doesn't really necessarily need to be tied to like a scary or like a kind of like heart palpitating in the bad sense, like type of just type of situation. Like, like you could be going on a freaking like King Dakar riding straight down and you're scared of heights, and this is the roller coaster that would literally put you in a position where you would literally be facing damn near like 90 degrees down. I think it's like 89 or 85 degrees pointed down, where you're just like I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I have no choice. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's just like it could be a freaking good extreme, Like it could be, for all you know, it could be freaking Valentine's Day. And next thing you know, like say you're a female, right? And your dude just like rolled up. He actually did the movie thing where he freaking got 10,000 rose petals to mention, and like he really actually like sat there just thinking, like pulling out each petal for you as you would walk in the door seeing it, and it would just be going like, does she love me, does she not, 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 she loves me, yay, the 10,000 one says she loved me, so this Valentine's Day will go well. It could be a good type of extreme like that. And this is kind of like what Cancer looks for, because, Cancer is, Cancer, like I said, it's at work in Saturn. Oh, wait, let me just talk about Cancer a little bit. I was talking about freaking Jupiter. I got into it, as you could tell. Anyways, so Cancer, right? Cancer is born from the fourth house. It falls in Mars. It is at work in Saturn, and then it is ruled by the moon, and then it is exalted in this sign, Jupiter, right? So basically, with that being the case, Cancer kind of ascends. It doesn't really want to take action. It kind of hates putting in work and creating structure, but it needs to, because Cancer is like, it's the crab. It has a shell. And then it is at home in the moon. That's its comfortable space. And then once that is comfortable space, it can create a feeling and then go into like that expansion. It's expanding that feeling as far as it wants. And the reason I say expand into a feeling is because it's cardinal water, initiating, creating new ways of how to feel and how to add emotion to things, right? So let's start with the feeling aspect of this, okay? So a feeling, you can kind of look at a feeling as it's like a higher octave of like a vibration, right? And then the lower octave would be thought. But so to explain this, let's talk about DVDs and Blu-ray players, right? So a Blu-ray player is, like I said, it uses the Blu-ray to contain a lot more video information and compact it into a smaller space, right? So we imagine a Blu-ray player as a feeling. We can imagine a DVD player as a thought. It still is a ray that can basically a vibration that can contain information, but it takes a bigger space, right? So if we look at like Cancer people initiating and creating feelings like the Blu-ray player, what can they do? They can basically create a vibration that can contain way more information than a freaking like a thought or just a thought or a concept, right? Initiating a thought. So why does Jupiter like this? Jupiter likes this because they basically create the entire framework of expansion. They create a feeling, and then they can go out and just basically hop into that feeling and create all of the freaking like vibrations, information, situations that go into it, and they can expand into it on their own. So this is why Jupiter loves to be in Cancer. So let's talk about a Jupiter and Cancer person, right? A Jupiter and Cancer person is someone that can basically create a situation of expansion at will, and it will be done well. Like, it won't be like a Jupiter and Aries person that just caught the vibe and like was like, I want to do this, and this, and then they do half of that and they fuck up in some type of way. But the beginning was great. The beginning was ecstasy. They just go down the hill real quick because Jupiter and Aries people will just bash straight through a situation when they're expanding, and just they may not even like it, and they may get hurt in the way, you know. Like this like a Jupiter and Aries person would be like a 10-year-old watching the freaking Shining, you know? They would be like all with it, but then here's Johnny, and they're like, my little 10-year-old brain can't handle this, you know? A Jupiter and Cancer person would be one that would like want to create some type of Netflix series that they really enjoyed, that they really found a place in their heart, that they would really, really, really love to actually do. And it would be great because they would have the proper emotions to start this out. They would have the proper emotions to basically like motivate them to create all of this and actually put in the work to do it, even though they don't like, you know, actually putting in work and creating structure. But since it's coming from their Jupiter and Cancer and their like true love to actually expand into something part of themselves, then it's okay for them to dip down and actually create the structure and create the framework, you know. And they may not even actually have to create the framework because they created the feeling behind that situation, and they can like this obviously depends on their other signs. They have a source that they can draw on to actually go out and motivate people to do this for themselves, which could be the structure that they created, which wouldn't be that bad, because how long does it actually take someone to motivate someone if you actually like if you really have energy like that, and you really have freaking like the energy to feel some type of way about that, and like a lot of things will fall into your favor because you, like, long story short, you have an infinite source that you created from yourself to motivate you to actually do all these things. So if you like did it the smart way and you went to Netflix and actually got funding to create this series, and all you had was the spark and idea, and it took you about a week to come up with, then it would be easy because you literally started off with the ball rolling great. You went out, you got the funding, and all you need to do is go get your friends that share in this feeling, that enjoy this with you, and just have a little casting call and get a little timeline going on depending on what your contract you signed with Netflix or some shit like that. And you would just basically, you would be able to just go through and do this on your own. Because, like I said, Jupiter and Cancer is literally you creating that feeling for yourself to expand however you like. And since it's Jupiter's exalted place, Jupiter's going to give you all the energy in the world to follow through and just get going with this, you know? That's a Jupiter and Cancer situation. It could apply to anything, you know? You could want to expand into, you could want to go on a freaking road trip, right? Say you wanted to go on a road trip, right? You got this feeling, you wanted to expand it, you wanted to expand into this state, this state, this state, this country, this country, this country. You know, if you're in the Americas, you can drive all the way up and down the coast. You can go from Alaska to Argentina, you know, and you can get a VW bug, you can sell coffee on the way, and then on your freaking way, you can pick up coffee beans, because that's the coffee country, you know, down south in freaking South America. You may go through some bullshit because they got the little tiny roads on the sides of the mountains where you're driving with 3 wheels on the freaking road and you got 1 wheel off, but you know, as long as everybody gets on this side, it's okay. And as long as you have that feeling where you can motivate people to keep expanding into these situations, they'll be right. You'll be like, oh, whatever, guys, let's just tip it over here. Anyways, but yeah. That's Jupiter and Cancer for you right there, man. They can convince. It's like they're almost kind of like a Gemini Sun Aries Moon like combination that would kind of catch a wave and just be able to motivate anybody and anything, you know, with also having like a Venus in the 7th house. It's like it can be like all of that combined, because basically when you actually catch the vibe with the sign and everything aligns, a lot of things can work out in your favor. Because like I said, this sign, you actually creating a vibe of something you really want to do, really is like the stars aligning and just like being like, oh, I have an infinite source to draw upon, you know? And that's really that's just what Jupiter and Cancer is, man. It literally is the infinite abundance sign, because you have the ability to create this feeling to infinitely expand into anything you want. You just have to design and pick the feeling that you want to work on, and it won't be like catching a vibe. Like I said, you're creating the vibe. Anyways, peace.